Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, January 2, 1220 America, New York, SKorea. Unidentified person crosses border into North Korea. South Korea's military says that an unidentified person has crossed the heavily fortified border into North Korea. Washington Post World, January 2, 5:41 America, New York. 4 Syrians die after burning coal for heat in South Lebanon. An official in a Lebanese rescue group says a mother and her 3 children died in their sleep after inhaling toxic fumes from burning coal to warm their room in a village in southern Lebanon. Washington Post World, January 2, 5 o'clock America, New York. A lost library of works by the Brontë sisters was destined for sale. Then Britain rallied. The trove includes Charlotte Bronte's famous Little Books and poems by Emily and Anne, alongside other literary treasures by Jane Austen, Robert Burns and Sir Walter Scott.
January 2, 5 o'clock America, New York. New Year's parade with checkered past of offensive costumes returns with an inclusive message. America's oldest folk parade returns Sunday after coronavirus shut down the New Year's Day tradition that has come under scrutiny for racist and other offensive costumes worn by some participants throughout the years.
New York Times World News, January 2, 5 o'clock America, New York. China moves to overhaul protections for women's rights, sort of. The proposed revisions to a women's rights law would be the first major changes in nearly 20 years. But many women are skeptical that real progress will follow. Supporters of Zhou Xiaoxuan in Beijing. New York Times World News, January 2, 5 o'clock America, New York. A Spanish mystery. Is a masked restorer to blame for a church's botched repair? Yet another imprudent fix in a land plagued by vigilante handymen led to angry calls to find the culprit, and to a soul-searching question. Does Spain just have too much history in need of upkeep? The Church of Santa Maria del Castillo in the Spanish village of Castronuño was built around 1250.
January 2, 4:38 America, New York. Dinosaur footprints dating back 200 million years discovered, researchers believe. Footprints discovered on a beach in Wales are believed to have been made by an early dinosaur more than 200 million years ago, experts say.
RT World News, January 2, 4:33 America, New York. First case of flurona reported in Israel. A woman in Israel caught influenza and COVID simultaneously. The first case of a potentially dangerous combination of COVID-19 and the flu has been discovered in a young, pregnant, unvaccinated woman in Israel. Washington Post World, January 2, 4:16 America, New York. Israel strikes Hamas targets in Gaza following rocket launches. No injuries were reported in the attacks, which the Israeli military said targeted a rocket manufacturing facility and other military sites. New York Times World News, January 2, 4:06 America, New York. South Korea says unknown person crossed DMZ into North. The breach at the demilitarized zone went unnoticed for hours, the South Korean military said. There was no immediate response from North Korea. Soldiers at the demilitarized zone in Gangwon province in eastern South Korea in 2019.
January 2, 4:01 America, New York. Elite Afghan military pilots resettled in U.S. fear for family they had to leave behind. Bilal Koastani wishes the United States would feel like home. The former pilot for the Afghan Special Mission Wing, the elite of Afghanistan's military, recently moved from Fort Pickett in Virginia to Chicago, where he has found a place to live and a roommate.
CNN.com World, January 2, 4:01 America, New York. Elite Afghan military pilots resettled in U.S. fear for family they had to leave behind. Bilal Koastani wishes the United States would feel like home. The former pilot for the Afghan Special Mission Wing, the elite of Afghanistan's military, recently moved from Fort Pickett in Virginia to Chicago, where he has found a place to live and a roommate.
January 2, 3:51 America, New York. Fire breaks out at South Africa's parliament in Cape Town. A large fire broke out at South Africa's parliament in Cape Town on Sunday, with images from the scene showing flames shooting through the roof of a building.
Fox World News, January 2, 3:30 America, New York.
Kim Jong-un largely ignores U.S., South Korea in year-end speech, vows weapons development. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un vowed to pursue high-tech weapons to counter what he called military instability on the Korean peninsula, but largely ignored the U.S. January 2nd. 304 America New York, no worries, you're on mute, and circle back should be banished, annual list says. No worries, at the end of the day, you're on mute, and the dreaded supply chain, these are the phrases thousands of English speakers have finally heard enough of. Fox World News. January 2nd. 303 America New York, Scotland moves to pardon thousands executed as witches, 400 years later. Legislation is moving through Scotland's parliament to pardon thousands of women who were snared in Scotland's Great Purge, including some who were tortured to death in the North Berwick witch trials.
BBC News World. January 2nd. 303 America New York, South Korean crosses DMZ in rare defection to North Korea. Seoul said it had asked the North, which has a shoot-on-sight policy, to protect the person.
January 2nd. 250 America New York, as the virus spreads like wildfire across American communities, the consequences are already altering parts of daily life. The U.S. kicked off 2022 amid a massive COVID-19 case spike, driven by the highly contagious Omicron variant, that some experts warn will be different than any other time in the pandemic.
RT World News. January 2nd. 2:48 America New York. French presidential contender asks Macron to take down EU flag. Veteran right-wing politician Marine Le Pen asked for the EU flag to be removed from the Arc de Triomphe.
January 2nd. 2:36 America New York, the Powerball jackpot is rolling over for Monday at $522 million. There was no winner in the first Powerball drawing of 2022, which is why I'm still here at my job, writing this story.
New York Times World News. January 2nd. 2:30 America New York, South Africa Parliament fire still burning after 4 hours. The extent of the damage was not immediately clear on Sunday morning, but officials feared it would be extensive. Smoke rose above the National Assembly in Cape Town on Sunday morning.
BBC News World. January 2nd. 2:11 America New York, Cape Town, major blaze rips through South Africa Parliament building. Large flames and a huge column of smoke could be seen coming out of the building on Sunday morning.